Hey, what's up, Anime Royale fans? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got something special for you. You know how gems are pretty much gold dust in this game, right? Well, I'm here to save you hours of grinding and frustration. We've tested every single unit in Anime Royale. Yes, every single one. So you don't have to. Stick around and I'll break down the definitive Anime Royale tier list for you. Now, before we dive in, here's a quick heads up. We're ranking these units based on their rarity. Why? Because the DPS gap between rarities is massive. For example, Alligator, Nemo, and Ichi, yeah, they don't hold a candle to big guns like Minara, but don't sleep on them. They still bring that crucial utility to the table. Ichi shreds shields and takes out air units. Alligator is a full AoE slow machine, and Nemo, well, he's your best friend when it comes to farming. Alright, let's jump into the details. Grab your snacks, and let's go. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking units in Anime Royale. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching! The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Virtual Sword Girl, Raiko, Roro, and Tojiro. Alright, let's talk about some units in Anime Royale that you're probably better off avoiding, starting with Virtual Sword Girl. Now, I know she looks cool, but she just doesn't bring anything special to the table. She's outclassed by units like Virtual Swordsman, Naruto. Heck, even a few comments could give her a run for her money. Her stats just don't hold up, and there's nothing she does that's better than the competition. So, yeah, maybe skip her unless you're collecting just for fun. Next, we have Raiko. She's got a pretty solid cone AoE attack with great DPS, especially for a rare unit, but here's the catch, she's really expensive to place and upgrade. You'll be sinking a lot of resources into her when there are better, cheaper options. Same goes for Roro, good DPS, but that tiny AoE and his high cost make him pretty forgettable. And then there's Tojiro. Oh boy, this guy has bad range, terrible DPS, and honestly, he's probably the worst rare unit in the game. Save your resources, trust me. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Inosuke, Sosoke, Vegetable, Fireleg, and Goko. Alright, let's dive into the C tier units of Anime Royale, starting with Inosuke. Now, I don't want to be too harsh, but Inosuke really is at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to epic towers. He's ground only, and his DPS just doesn't make up for his short range. So, if you're looking for a unit that won't disappoint you, you might want to skip Inosuke. Next up, let's talk about Sosoke, Vegetable, Fireleg, and Goko. Sosoke might just be the best rare DPS unit you can get for Infinite Mode. With incredible stats and a solid multi-hit attack when fully upgraded, he's a keeper. Vegetable, on the other hand, stands out with his insane range for a rare tower and his multi-hit attack, making him a great option for breaking shields. Fireleg is another fantastic choice with full AoE capabilities and a burn effect that shreds through shields. Lastly, Goko's multi-hit ability on placement makes him a solid pick for dealing with shields. So, while C tier might not be the creme de la creme, these units still bring something useful to the table. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Zenitsu, Sosoke Kirin, Netsu, Klai, Pickle, Virtual Swordsman, and Naruto. Alright, let's dive into the B tier units of Anime Royale and see what's cooking. First up, we've got Zenitsu. Now, Zenitsu's only real claim to fame is his stun ability. Without that, he'd be hanging out way lower than Sosoke Kirin on our list. Speaking of Sosoke Kirin, he's often considered one of the least impressive legendaries out there. His burn effect just doesn't cut it, and with only 2 placement spots and terrible range, picking him over an epic unit is only justifiable if you're really into his stats. Moving on to Netsu, he's not much better. Netsu's burn is similar to Sosoke's but with a few extra ticks, which is nice, but overall, he doesn't bring a lot to the table. Klai, on the other hand, is a bit of a mixed bag. He offers decent DPS as an epic and gets a full AoE attack when fully upgraded. So, he's got some good points, but there are better choices out there. Then we have Pickle, an epic hill unit with impressive multi-hit attacks and excellent DPS. Even though you can only place 2 Pickles, he's still a strong contender, though he can get overshadowed by Kokoin. Finally, let's chat about the rarities. Virtual Swordsman and Naruto. Virtual Swordsman is one of the best rares you can get, boasting insane range and great DPS. Plus, his full AoE attack becomes really powerful when maxed out. And then there's Naruto, who's basically a story mode powerhouse. His upgrades are super cheap, and he can deal with shields like a pro. Just remember, you'll need a hill unit to handle flying enemies since Naruto can't target them. Overall, these B-tier units have their quirks, but they each bring something to the table. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Ichi, Micro, Freeze, Goko Dark, Geo, Ulquario, Kokoin, and Kakeshi. Alright, let's dive into the A-tier units in Anime Royale, starting with Ichi. If you're hunting for a legendary unit that really brings the heat, Ichi's your guy. This hill unit doesn't just deal impressive damage, he can also shred enemy shields with his burn effect. It's like having a fire-breathing dragon on your team, totally awesome for tackling those pesky shielded foes. Next up, we have Micro, the undisputed king of raw DPS in Anime Royale. His strength lies in his incredible damage output, coupled with impressive range and AoE attacks. He's also capable of targeting flying enemies, which is a huge bonus. But, be warned, his expensive placement and upgrades make him a bit of a luxury pick, mostly shining in Infinite mode where you can really make the most of him. Moving on, let's talk about Freeze. If you're looking for an ultra-affordable unit that still packs a punch, Freeze is your best bet for clearing the story. He's super cheap to place and upgrade, and his DPS is pretty solid. Plus, with full upgrades, he can take down flying enemies, which makes him an invaluable asset for progressing through those tricky levels. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Alize Virtual Swordmaster Awakened, Stabs, Manara, Game Master, Virtual Swordswoman, Leafy, Jotaro, Keneki, and Alligator. Alright, let's dive into the top S-tier units in Anime Royale and see why they're absolutely dominating the game right now. First up, we have Alize, and let me tell you, this unit is a powerhouse. Her DPS is off the charts for a non-EVO mythic, and when you factor in her great range, SPA, and upgrade costs, she's pretty much a game changer. Honestly, she might just be the best non-EVO mythic in the game at the moment. No kidding! Next, we've got the Virtual Swordmaster Awakened. This guy is incredible with his solid DPS and that awesome multi-hit line AoE attack. It's perfect for shredding through shields like they're paper. He's definitely one of the top non-EVO mythics around. If you haven't tried him yet, you're missing out. Moving on, let's talk about Stabs. He's a one-placement full AoE mythic with insane performance, especially in Infinite mode. His multi-hit attack and the ability to stun enemies make him a fantastic utility unit. Plus, he can target flying enemies, so he's super versatile. And don't overlook Manara. He's got incredible range and DPS, and his cone AoE attack is massive, covering a huge chunk of the map and hitting flying enemies too. His DOT is one of the best in the game, making him an absolute must-have for any top-tier setup. Hope this rundown helps you get a better grasp of the game's top-tier units. If you've got your favorites or other units you think should be in the S tier, drop a comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. The units in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Friend, Virtual Sniper, Virtual Swordmaster Ultimate, Game Master Sirius, Leafy Fairy, Freeze Final, Ulquiorra II, Lawlight, and Nemo. Alright, let's dive into the top tier units you absolutely need to know about in Anime Royale. We're talking about the S+ tier where things get seriously epic. First up, we've got Friend, the ultimate powerhouse of the game. This unit is a beast with her incredible DPS, massive AoE, and hybrid abilities. Seriously, she makes other mythics look like they're still in training. Her insane range and full AoE coverage means she's got you covered from all angles. If you've got Friend in your lineup, you're already ahead of the game. Next, let's talk about Virtual Sniper. She's the second secret unit added to Anime Royale, and trust me, she's just as OP as Friend. With her high DPS and full AoE attack, you'll be taking down waves of enemies in no time. Her insane range and high SPA make her a force to be reckoned with, perfect for any endgame scenario where you need top-tier firepower. Then we have Virtual Swordmaster Ultimate, a unit so strong it might even top some of the secret units. His DPS is through the roof, and his range and attack radius are absolutely fantastic. If you're looking for a unit with a perfect blend of power and coverage, Virtual Swordmaster Ultimate is your go-to. He's a game changer in any serious battle. Finally, don't overlook Game Master Sirius. This unit is like the upgraded version of the regular Game Master, and boy does it show. He's one of the most meta units right now with his superior stats. Close on his heels is Leafy Fairy, who brings excellent cone AoE attack, top-notch range, and great DPS, though she's a bit short on utility compared to Game Master Sirius. And let's not forget Freeze Final, the ultimate shield shredder. With his massive AoE, high range, and multi-hit attack, he's a must-have for dealing with those tough endgame shields. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.